heArt Studios. Thanks so much for tuning in again on another episode of Stories of the Heart. We have had a really exciting week where we've been able to visit with different artists and just hear a little bit about their stories of how they've gotten to where they are today. For those of you watching who don't know, I am the founder of heArt Studios, a newly launched organization here in Nashville, and we exist to break the generational cycles of abuse and trauma by transforming the heart through creative expression. We do so by partnering with different artists or different professionals in the creative field to have them share their gifts, talents, and walk alongside youth who've been impacted by domestic violence or trauma in their lives. Today we have with us Carone, who is a dear friend of mine and an amazing dance instructor, and I will let him tell you a little bit more about how he got here, but you don't want to miss this one. So if you're thinking about tuning out, don't, because his story is pretty incredible. Carone, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
We are in Hermitage Dance Academy, where he teaches, a plethora of classrooms. Is that what you're doing these days?
Yes, ma'am.
Amongst 100 other things?
Yes, ma'am. I am one of the hip-hop instructors here at Hermitage Dance Academy, and it's a great place. You guys should check it out anytime.
This isn't where you teach 100% of your time. You teach a lot of your time here, but you're also all over, he's been all over the country, kids. And I just want to hear about how you got to where you are today. So take us back to Little Carone.
Oh, Little Carone, okay. Little Carone from a small town in West Tennessee is called McKenzie. Humble beginnings, I'll tell you that much. I was an athlete my entire life. Football, basketball, baseball, track, you name it, I did it pretty much. And I got the attention of a lot of recruiters in the country. I was an athlete growing up, so got scholarship offers to play football and basketball, more football so to say. And my senior year in high school, when I was the captain of the football team, I tore my ACL. So fortunately for me, I still got recruited, and I still had the academic sense and the grades to fall on an academic scholarship. So I took my academic scholarship to Middle Tennessee State University, Blue Raiders. So, and I was able to go to college on a scholarship. On scholarship, and then I was missing sports and everything. And at one point, I thought about walking on. I talked to the coaches and everything, walking on to try out for the team and go that route. And then one day, my academic advisor, she met with me, and I needed like 1 hour for like a course or something, I forgot. And it was a social dance class. And they needed guys to dance, learn salsa, merengue, and foxtrot, all the good fun stuff. And I go, and it was more ladies than guys. The ratio was nice, so I was like, I didn't stay here a little bit, because I was new to Murfreesboro and everything. And then so happened the Mr. Francisco Ramos, he is taught the class, and assistant Miss Angela Ramos, at the time they wasn't married, but now they are. She was director of the dance company at MTSU. Yes, director of the dance company at MTSU. She came to me one day after class, and she was like, "Hey, I noticed you really, really well. We have this company that meets on Tuesday and Thursdays called the Dance Club. It's a performing arts company. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Nah, I'd check it out." I had nothing else to do, at this point, right? So I literally went to there, and everything it was like a snowball effect. She took me under her wing. I went there, and I never forget the very first class, so to speak, that night. I go there, and this room's just filled with lots of ladies, so to speak, and it was just a few guys, a handful of guys, and then they were working on this opening number. They're like, "You jump in, just pick up the choreography." I'm like, "Cool," I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and it's Beyonce's Crazy in Love. So everyone knows the Beyonce there. So the song comes on and everyone's going crazy in there, and I'm standing there just still like, what is going on in here? But the vibe and energy was great. And then after that, I had talked to Miss Angela, and she took me under her wing, and that's when she started teaching me formal training, ballet, modern, tap, contemporary, liturgical, and she took me under her wing, and everything started to form. It was like a snowball effect. She took me to dance intensives, took me to workshops, and just by being in there, I realized that, oh man, this is something it's replacing my void. It's filling a void, so to speak, when it came to my sports and dance. And next thing you know, around this time, that's when dance started becoming cool to everyone. Like we mentioned, dancers weren't in the background, so TV shows were coming out, like So You Think You Can Dance, MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, and everything was coming forefront, and also country was doing popish, Taylor Swift. Everything. It's just all the stars lined up and everything, and then sure enough, within a year's time, I started auditioning, and I turned professional within a year.
Wow.
And it was just unheard of how fast everything was going. And then we had auditions for So You Think You Can Dance. It's when everyone was going to the audition, trying to be on TV and stuff. And we had a rehearsal that night, and my best friends were we were so spontaneous. They're like, hey, we're going to the So You Think You Can Dance audition. I'm like, when? They're like, tonight. Tonight? What are you talking about? They're like, just come on with. I'm like, cool. Well, nothing else to do, right? I'm like, where is it? They're like, Charleston, South Carolina. So I'm like, well, okay.
And where were you at that point?
We're here in Nashville.
To Charleston, okay.
So we hopped in the car. A funny backstory. We went inside. I go to look for, you have to have 2 forms of ID. I couldn't find my ID. I could not find my ID, and I was like, you guys go ahead and go without me. They're like, just bring your MTSU ID and your social security card. That's something I had. So we hopped in the car. We drive there overnight, 8 hours, something crazy.
Yeah.
And get there, we see the lines of kids, lines of people. You start seeing the cameras and stuff. There's so much that happened. Make a long story short, I end up making each day, and I got made to the Vegas round, so they sent me to Vegas. And I was there every single day. So the last day, I was the last guy to get cut before top 20 was made, so I made top 40. And that's when it gave me the actually confident booster, maybe I can make a career out of this. And from So You Think You Can Dance came MTV's America's Best Dance Crew. So I actually made America's Best Dance Crew with my best friends, those same guys. And then I had moved to California, did some shows with Trey Songz. We did some work with, oh my goodness, a couple of artists and things of that nature. And everything happened so fast. And dance took me to places I only dreamt of. Vegas, California, New York, Florida. And then with that, the teaching aspect kicked in. Because I was teaching, so I was in college after that. Teaching aspect started kicking in. And with my experiences and resume, I was finding myself helping others reach their goals through dance. And one thing Miss Angela taught me was relax, relate, and release through dance.
Relax, relate, and release through dance.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna hold on to that nugget.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, your world turned upside down when you tore your ACL.
Yes.
And I know that there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that life-changing injury. Where were you mentally at that point?
Well, at first, when it happened, it was, you kind of in denial, oh man, as an athlete, I can bounce back, it's no problem. But you didn't realize until reality hits, sets in that you're injured. And what if I didn't take school seriously?
Mm-hmm. Where would that have led you?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
You're saying that, your plan B was to go to school then to become, or get into the medical profession, and had that not been your plan B, do you think your academics would have been so on par, or was that something that was just always instilled from you from the get-go to be so well-scholared, so driven, so ambitious?
Yes, it's something that my parents instilled into me about being a scholar or taking my grades seriously, because they always said you always want to have a backup plan no matter what, because life gonna throw you curveballs. And it's not always like right down the middle, fastball right down the middle, so they always taught me to have a backup plan. And my initial plan was to become a doctor. You know, I want to become a doctor, but I think after college I realized I was living everyone else's dream. I wasn't living my dream. And at the time I did not know that dance was going to be my saving grace and my dream, you know? And that's what it was. The most unexpected things can be the best things.
Your story is it's one of those stories that I really love hearing, how the puzzle pieces just all fall together, but they're never your puzzle pieces.
Correct.
And the great design, or whatever you believe in, you know, Lord above puts those pieces in your path, but you were so willing to follow them versus being resistant or being like, no, this was my plan. You were super flexible to just honestly go with the flow. And it sounds like from that day, almost 15 years ago, it's led to where you are today.
Yes.
And you just, I'm sorry, but you reek of passion. You don't see this guy not smile when he's talking about the dance and he's talking about the kids and he's talking about the studio. You just emit this joy. Where did you find that passion? How did dance become your life's passion?
I think it's just the motivation of always wanting to be better, you know, to better yourself, or being like a shining positive light in your community or your surroundings itself. And life is but a vapor, and I've always lived that moment, you know, live like that. Just a simple smile or a laugh or just a wave to someone, because I'm from a small town. Everywhere we go, we drive past someone, we wave at them, even if you don't know who they are. Even when I came up here, my oldest brother used to make fun of me because when we came here, I'm like walking in Walmart, like, how you doing? How you guys doing today? Like, because that's what we do. That's what we did. We still do it to this day.
I feel like it's a lost art though in our society, and especially now behind masks. It's like
yes.
You really got to learn the art of smiling with the eyes. And
Yes.
Tyra, smizing. I'm so
I like this.
yeah, the smize.
I like it.
The smize. And so the motivation behind being just reaching your goals, being ambitious, that's what's given you your passion and your drive to succeed. And I know that you are teaching your kids the same characteristics.
Absolutely.
So that they're able to succeed. Have you seen some of what you went through in your own past, some of those trials, struggles, hardships in the kids that you're teaching today, and how have you seen yourself be able to give back to them?
Oh, absolutely. Especially now, like this day and age, everything's like social media, and like the forefront of look at me, look what I have. The social media aspect of look at me is more magnified these days. Everyone's always looking to have the satisfaction of others, you know. And when I teach my dancers, I'm like, even if you're not going to, if you don't want to pursue this dance career, because sometimes, you know, you have parents, you know, that try to live their dream through their children, and you can tell if a child's not as passionate as in dance. So I get a speech to them, like, this is your life, this is your choice. Even if you're not going to pursue a dance career, some of the things I'm teaching you, you can use that in a profession that you choose to do. Because I know all my dancers are not going to become dancers, and that's fine. And some have come to me like, thank you for these life lessons when it comes to an interview. Or like a few weeks ago, I had like a mock audition. I told them that, hey, I have this. I had them like state their name, be clear and conscious. And so we went through this whole thing. Me and my good friend, Brooke, who runs our studio, went through this whole thing about speaking with confidence, have a roar about yourself. We walk in the room, you know, be positive from the moment you got your car to the moment you go back in your car, and be that person all the time, you know, and have those same trends and same things you can utilize in a job interview. Sit up straight, talk, speak with your eyes, nod, be attentive, small things like that. So yes, I've seen myself, some of my struggles I've had, I see kids these days as well. And I give them my advice, you know, I don't want to pry too much information, but if a kid comes to me about life lessons or advice, I'd be willing, and I'd love to give advice about Now let's say what you should do, like don't go home to your parents, this and that, but just have an adult conversation. But I teach them as your young adults, you know, that's the mentality. You're not just kids. You're young adults. And then when you know it, you'll be an adult, and then you'll be teaching.
That's incredible. That's an incredible value that, yeah, young adults, I really respect that model, that they need to start learning that younger and younger these days so that they can go out into society and be, you know, respectable adults. And I think we're losing it because everybody's behind the phone so much that there's just not that skill being taught. And so I commend you for that. You know, one of the things we're going to strive to do at our studio is maybe the vice versa, that maybe they're living their parents' dreams because their parents want them to become the doctors, or they want them to, you know, go to their school that they went to, or they want their life and they're imposing it on them. Or these kids are even living their parents' nightmares. They're living in abusive homes, or they're living in, you know, financially hard areas of the country, and they can't take that step forward because they don't have the opportunity. We want to be a place for them to come in and have a safe space to share their stories about what they're going through. No judgment, just share it, and do it so through the creative arts. Find your gifting.
That's right.
Is it through song? Is it through writing? Is it through spoken word? You know, is it through dance? And there's so much just worthy value when you feel your body move and you're starting to express that emotion, the organic healing journey that starts, even for us.
Yes.
You know, even for us at our age. Now, I'm not going to say what our age is on, but I feel that anytime I hear a song, I feel that spark. And so our hope is to start young, you know, anywhere from 10 to 18, and just walk with them through what that journey looks like until they get to the point where they're ready to step out into the big world outside. Have we empowered them enough to say, hey, I can really actually produce a record. I'd like to do that as a career.
Right on.
And we're like, go get it.
That's right.
Or not, but that's our goal. And so I love that you're already doing that. You're doing that strong, and I know that the kids are going to really respect it when they're out in the big scary world. And we're talking about that with the kids, but you yourself, when you're out on the dance floor, when you're out auditioning, or when you're teaching, what are the things you're finding about your own heart and what healing journey you've been on?
I use the drive of never being content. We find ourselves, even as you get older, especially, you know, not to mention our ages, whatever, that we find ourselves being more comfortable with certain things, and then you wake up, a year go by, 2 years go by, you're like, what have I done? You know, so never being content. So I'm always challenging myself, especially when I'm dancing, you know. As you get older, you have more responsibility. So you wear a lot of burdens on your shoulders a lot. So dance helps me still. Even my students, they'll know by me coming to a studio, various studios, and just teaching to them and talking to them helps my day tremendously, or even completes my day. You know, I can have a rough day going on, but I get around my dancers, and it just goes away because it's my safe space. You know, and so that's just as important when it comes to teaching and performing as well. And I always hear that saying Miss Angela taught me: relax, relate, and release through dance. Because sometimes we just can control what we can't control.
Yeah, that's good. That's so relax, relate, release. That's a life motto that I think we can carry on. Like I said, we all could use that today. And the fact that